Hello and welcome to Pointed Logic Tarot. If you're not out protesting or trying to bring this colonialist regime down in some way, I hope you're supporting those who are doing so. Highly recommend going over to Anti-Case Tarot if you need some ideas. I'll link a couple videos. Today we're going to talk about some of my tarot decks going on a cross-country trip. Let's see, got a box here. Oh, it doesn't fit in the picture. I'm going to do a tarot swap, which I'm really excited about. In general, I'm just excited about having IRL tarot buddies, even if they do not live nearby. And Sarah over at Tangy Tarot had brought up the idea of doing a tarot swap, and I am happy to be participating in that. So I'm sending a box to Sarah, and Sarah's sending a box to me, and I thought what I would do for this video is I would film what I'm packing up for Sarah to send, and then I will also film opening up the box that Sarah sends me. And this tarot swap was born out of like a little tarot study group that started up on Discord over like overlapping decks and interests, but we chatted with the group about different decks, and obviously not everyone has the same ones. So people shared certain decks they were interested in, and then we kind of got around to this idea of sending decks to go on a little adventure. And I shared like a list of ones I would be happy to share, and Sarah picked out a few, and a couple of tarot or divination related books, and they're all going to get sent off. And we'll trade for a couple of months or so and then send them back. That's kind of the premise. And it's a way to, for the cost of shipping, which in total will maybe be the cost, like a round trip, it will be the cost of one mass market tarot deck or so, maybe less. We'll get a whole box of decks. So it's like a little... I have often lamented wishing that libraries had tarot decks for people to use just for a little while to try them out. And I'm really excited to try out some decks that I've considered getting and haven't for one reason or another, or maybe wouldn't get but would love to try it, etc. I think Sarah's even sending me an out-of-print one, which is very kind for me to try out. So I'm going to just show them. I'm going to be sharing Children of Ostara, Tarot for the Great Outdoors, the Magic Pantry Tarot, and the Lily White Tarot. So 3 indie and 2 mass, or 1 mass market. And I will be sharing the guidebooks that go with those. And then I'm also sending 2 books. I'm going to send this Language of Lenormand by Erica Robinson. And this one I've fully read and finished and am just sending on, because typically if it's a book that I don't plan to refer back to, or like I've read it and I'm done, I prefer to pass books along rather than have them start to fill up my shelves. So this one I'm just giving. And then I have a couple of goodies that I put together for Sarah, and then the Way Anchor Tarot Spread book. This is one that I have used a ton and is a great reference book. And Sarah has often mentioned, oh, I want to try those spreads out. So I figured I'd send this to Sarah to try out, because it's a spread for each card. Plus there's a few bonus ones in the back here. And there's contributors, several spread creators, and several deck creators are contributors to the book. So it's really cool. This one is by Veronica Van Ziepel. Yeah, so I won't spend too much on this portion of the video, but I was going to talk a little bit about why I like these decks. This one was one of my first Pippish decks, and I really liked how expressive it is. This one has a counterpart, the Lily Black Tarot, which the guidebook actually shows pictures for both. So you get to see the artist. This is Celia Mellisville, or yeah, Celia Mellisville. Made two decks. These aren't like inverted or anything. She illustrated them twice. This one is like with pastels or chalk or something. I think pastels. And then this is watercolor. And it's really cool. I only have the watercolor version just because the Lily Black Tarot didn't grab me as much. But yeah, so here's some of the minors. You can see they are still very scenic, but the pips are prominent, and it was really great. One of the things that I really enjoyed earlier in my tarot learning. And I love the wand suit. There's also a sword card I really want to share that I feel is very powerful. The Nine of Swords. But yeah. So this deck is also interesting that it has no titles on it. It just has symbols and numbers. So the numerals on the majors, and then it has a number and a symbol. So the page has the heart symbol. The knight has a sun symbol. The queen has a crown, and then the king has a more, or like a slightly larger crown. You can see Nine of Wands. So it's really cool. And then there's also keyword cards. So there's a guidebook and there's little keyword cards for this deck. One of my favorites. Children of Ostara is more recent to me. Sarah mentioned having Children of Litha, so I have Children of Litha too, and it's fun to compare. This one is plant focused. The guidebook is in there. Also, I don't even know what it is exactly, but both with Children of Litha and Children of Ostara, Zia Hunt, the author, illustrates just such hotties for the courts. My partner and I have played that like hot or not game, going through and picking out which courts you just are like, yes. So like beautiful. So it's a really fun deck. And there's a ton of really incredible research and symbolism done by Zia on the plants, the lore, the specific meanings, and all of that is packed into this little guidebook. I'm really impressed with the quality of the content rather than just the incredible art. So like the art is amazing, but the correspondences, the thought, I don't know, the very real witchcraft and occult knowledge embedded in this, and the symbolism is impressive to me. So it's one of the reasons I really like it. Tarot for the Great Outdoors. This one is just fun and colorful. It has also like keyword cards plus a little guidebook. This one is very numerology based, which is fun. I actually really like the numerology. This one has kind of thin and bendy cardstock, which some people have complained about. I know that the newer printing has more durable cardstock, but I kind of like it. It's still durable and it shuffles well. It's so colorful. It's about recreation and appreciation for the outdoors. It is it just the US or North America? I'm not sure. They name national parks here, and then in the suits it's more like scenery, but not specific locations. But the interpretations are really expansive. They deviate from RWS in a way that I really enjoy. They're cohesive. There's leave no trace meanings in here. The philosophy of leave no trace. This is actually really great for such a small guidebook. It gets you where you need to go. There's, I think, numerology written here as well. And a Celtic cross spread too. But yeah, I love the art, the colors, the people, the style, the reading style it offers, and recreation, specifically sustainable, connecting humans and nature in a sustainable way, and like realizing that we are part of nature is important to me. So this deck is special. And then finally, the Magic Pantry Tarot, which, where did I even just set that? Here it is. It is so cute. I did a deck study earlier this year with it. It has one extra card, which is an egg or a tofu fool. I love all the people. I want to be friends with all of the people in this deck. It's really clever. It gets me creative in the kitchen. It feels very summery. Just like all of Cedar's work, it's inclusive, it's heartfelt. Oops, no, don't go out of order. I did put all 4 of these decks in order. I think if it was more, I wouldn't have, but when I send decks to people, typically I like to put them back in order. I don't really do like deck cleansing, but I feel like that's sort of my way to give somebody a fresh, start fresh with a deck. So we'll, use a little movie magic here, and you will see, I'm going to send this out tomorrow in this little box here, and you will see me next opening the box that Sarah sends to me. Hello, it's a week later, and I have received today this massive box from Sarah. So I'm going to open it off camera and then pull everything out of the box one thing at a time, take a look, talk about it, talk about a little bit more about the swap, and maybe even pull out some pairings. We shall see for the decks. But I'll tell you, this is a fun way. For the cost of one tarot deck, with the shipping and such, you can get a whole box of tarot decks to try out for a while, and then send them back and receive yours back. Ooh, and I got some cute stickers. Sarah always shares the cutest washi and stationery. A very sweet little note. Ooh, and quite the adventure in here. All right, maybe I'll just pull everybody out. So we've got the Rainbow Tarot. 1909 Sawyer Redux edition of the RWS. Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle. The Next World Tarot. More cute stationery. Aw, I think there's a tiny little tarot reading in this envelope. More stationery. The Tarot for Change book, which, oh my gosh, is a beefy one. I didn't realize it was such a chunky book. Aww. So cute. Self-care is for everyone. And Mystic's Magical Journey, which I think is Lisa's kids book about the character Mystic from her tarot deck. Wow. Some surprises in here. That's fun. I'm also because I sent some surprises, so I'm pleased that we traded surprises. All right. What should we look at first? Let's really quick look at this Tarot for Change book. And then we'll dig right into the decks. So I've been digging into all of the, I don't know what you would call it, maybe radical tarot subgenre of subgenres, where I've read 78 Acts of Liberation by Elaine Smith, Radical Tarot. Is it called Radical Tarot? By Charlie Claire Burgess. Currently reading Tarot for the Hard Work by Maria Minnis. And then I have on my list Red Tarot to read and this one. So I'm excited to look at this. And I don't know. Ooh, a bookmark too. That's fun. I don't know to what extent this is radical or anything, but I just know it kind of fits in that realm of books, and a lot of them, those books sort of reference each other or talk about, like Tarot for the Hard Work and Tarot 78 Acts of Liberation, I think, both quote this. So this is going to be a fun read. Just under 400 pages. Feel free to pause and read the back if you're interested in learning more about it. Okay, let's start with Rainbow Tarot. This one, so basically what Sarah and I did was we shared a list of decks to each other that we would be down with lending for a good chunk of time. And then we reviewed each other's lists and picked a few decks off each list to say, yes, I would like to try this one out for a month or so. Here's the edges, rainbowy. The cardstock is a little bit glossy, but honestly, not that bad. I thought it was worse based on the reaction people were having to this deck. They were like, it's not nearly as good mass market as it is indie, which might be true, but this is really not bad. So we won't flip through all the cards, but just wanted to show you sort of the art style. There's plenty of flip throughs. And I just really wanted something colorful for the summer to try. And this one, I don't typically reach for or have a lot of RWS clones. And this one is clone-ish because the majors are a little bit more Marseille inspired than they are RWS inspired. But this is one I've been tempted by and wanted to give it a whirl, see how I like it. This artist is dealing with plagiarism and other stuff impacting their work and their bottom line. So if you can support them, please do so. At least give them a follow on socials. There was another person who took their deck and basically copied several of the cards and sold another deck that's very, very, very similar in art style. And then, of course, there's a bunch of counterfeit, literal copies of this deck out there. So if you're getting this deck, make sure it's either the official indie version or the more recently published official mass market version. Which is, who is the publisher? Hold on a second. Chronicle Books is the publisher. But yeah, I, first off, wasn't sure about the quality of the mass market one based on the reactions people were giving it, but I actually really don't mind. And it's not super glossy, it's just got a little bit of a shine. It's not sticky at all, swishy, not too thick, standard tarot sized. So this, just the tactile experience, makes me want a copy for myself even more. So we shall see if I get on with this deck. Okay, the next one is an out-of-print deck, I believe. And again, it's an RWS clone, and I just wanted to try it out and didn't have the opportunity because it's out of print and because Sarah put it on the list of decks that Sarah was willing to lend out. I was like, you know what? I want to give it a try, even though it is a clone. This one is by Jamie Sawyer, and it's redrawn art in tattoo style with really cleaned up line work and redone faces. So I'm going to hold it up to the camera. And then just as far as cardstock, see, this one is actually similar in shine, maybe just slightly less. It feels like playing cards standard smooth. Definitely nice quality. See, maybe what I'll do is I'll grab my only RWS original line work, which I have is Tarot Vintage. All right, here's Tarot Vintage. So this is the only one I have with the original line work, and then I would say the only other actual clone that I have is Modern Witch Tarot. So let's find the Six of Pentacles to compare. The first thing you'll notice is it's borderless with no titles or numbers, which I think works well for an RWS because It's recognizable. There are so many resources out there with this imagery. My goodness, is this literally going to be the last card I pull out of the deck? I feel like I've seen every other pentacle. Here it is. Okay. So, as you can see, redone faces, refined line work. And you can't go by the colors in this because this is a recoloring. But all the symbolism is there, and indeed some of the details are actually easier to see in this version. And then Jamie Sawyer put mandalas over everything in the background. So let's look through a few of these. So honestly, I just wanted to see how I would get on with an RWS that wasn't the actual RWS. And I don't know if I will or not, but wanted to give it a try. I really enjoy the Modern Witch Tarot. I think I pull it out most of the time in the spring. Let me pull out another really familiar one so we can... I really like how crisp these are. Oh, wait, this one I just saw. And then I'll pull a major. She looks really serious on the left, but way crankier on the right. But so you get really clear details of the chair, the throne, or whatever. And this is much more crisp. Like these are little angel looking, gargoyle looking characters. I guess I always looked at it and thought wings, you know. And maybe that's just me not paying attention. And I do like the colors in this version. Okay, let's find the Fool. I feel like that one's just a classic one to... Wait, okay. It would probably be in this stack. Wow, like look at the stained glass in this. Great details. This one too. Very detailed. So this will be fun just to even better understand or notice the symbolism. I'm not super keen on RWS imagery, so I haven't really paid a ton of attention other than the like general well-known stuff, you know. Look at the dog and the wolf. Jamie Sawyer on their own channel have a flip through of this and talk about it. Okay, so here's the Fool and the OG line work. Okay. So you can see the face, the little wreath in the hair, the satchel, the clothing, the feather, all much more crisp and easy to see. And you've got the classic colors, but not super garish. So yeah, okay, so that is the 1909 RWS Tarot Sawyer Redux Edition. That's going to be fun to look through. There's one Oracle deck in this collection, and I literally just picked it off the name. I didn't even look it up. So, but I was like, oh, Nature Oracle? Let's take a look. This is Hay House. I have strong feelings about Hay House. Guidebook with spreads. Kind of like the design in the box, similar to the back. So it's 44 cards. It's that really stiff cardstock. Okay, and it's like collage-ish. Oh dear. Yeah, this is definitely not something I would go for. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put a couple of them out here to rant. Editing Josephine here to say, there is a rant incoming, but I want to convey right now, I am extremely grateful to have a tarot friend like Sarah to share decks and deck swap. So this is not hating on her collection or anything of the sort. And I did check with Sarah before posting this to make sure my comments here were okay to share. But you're about to hear my feelings on this deck, cultural appropriation, and Hay House in general. So, yeah, rant incoming. Skip ahead if you don't want to rant tonight. Some of these seem like just pictures. I mean, they're probably still edited with some kind of a filter. And then like this one, like, is that a computer generated apple tree? Okay, so we've got some iconography in here, or objects, especially this one. Look at that. That are referencing a broad general indigeneity. Dr. Stephen D. Farmer looks like a white dude to me. Editing Josephine here again to say, you shouldn't, base somebody's ethnicity on a picture, and mostly because of colorism and or my ignorant white person lack of knowledge and understanding. But I did actually look up this guy after making this video, and he is indeed some white scammy fake shaman guy. So my critiques stand in this video, but just flagging that, don't just look at a picture and be like, looks white enough, I'm going to judge. Definitely actually read about a person's like experience, background, all of that. But yeah, this guy is 0 stars for me. Shamanic practitioner, huh? Just out here doing the usual Hay House. Appropriation. See, here we go. Real blanket statement. Let's take indigenous communities and capitalize off of them, shall we? Blah. So, and then the other one I wanted to vent on is this one, wilderness, untamed. Okay, so the issue for me is the keyword. And the issue for me is the colonialist concept of wilderness. That this is some wild, untamed, untouched, unknown, or unknowable portion of the world, as if no one was there or no one lived here. When indeed many, 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 many nations with unique histories and cultures and lives were attacked and colonized. So Hay House is a publisher that has dabbled in this quite a bit, this kind of deck. I think there are some out more recently with actual indigenous authors, but I can't speak to that. I haven't done enough research on it and just have generally not purchased anything from Hay House. So this is going to be interesting. I can either take out some of the cards, try it out, read through a little bit of the book, or entirely set it aside. I don't know. I really appreciate Sarah sending this to me. Like, I don't want to negate that. But certain cards and things in this make me go, yikes. In contrast, we now have the Next World Tarot. Now, like, I feel like I should own this deck. I don't, for a couple of reasons, which maybe aren't good reasons. One of them is the pocket one seems too small and the full size seems too big. And when I say pocket size seems too small, it has borders that the artwork seems really small and hard to see on. But it's so massive. Look at this. I love the themes of this deck. I've watched many flip-throughs and reviews. I actually have the guidebooks available on Hoopla, which is like a digital library that you can register with. So I've checked it out before and read some of it. Ooh, a little envelope. And yeah. the things depicted here are incredibly powerful. An anti-colonial belief system, spectacle of both the battle cry and the reconnection between outcasts and their criminalized identities. It's right up my alley. And I've really been meaning to get a copy or, you know, do more. But just haven't. Here's the guidebook. And I believe in the pocket, there's like a little guidebook that fits in the box, and it's the same content. It's just like landscape so that it all fits. So I'm definitely going to gobble up this whole book and read it. Because when I checked it out, I read some of the entries, but I didn't have the deck. And then the other reason I haven't purchased this yet is the art style is not... It's not super my jam, which makes me feel kind of terrible because it's beautiful art. But it's just that really granular, refined, detailed art that I haven't been drawn to. But it's well done. It's incredibly well done. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, this is so full. And so powerful. So this is the devil, right? Dissolve the empire, undertaking the new order of the ages. And who do we have here? This looks very familiar, very with the times. And it has been for centuries, the times. The art feels a little bit chaotic and overwhelming, which I think is suitable for this deck. I have gifted this deck to a few people and they love it, so I'm really excited to give it a try and see if the themes outweigh the art style for me. And again, I'm not saying that the art isn't well done. It's just not something that I've been drawn to. I don't really have use for astrology related things. I will say I like the cardstock. It feels durable but also flexible. I wonder if I can sideways shuffle it. It's massive though, oh my goodness sakes. Oh yep. Entirely doable. It can even bridge. So, I don't know what I'm whining about. And then I do like that there's keywords. I think that's always kind of nice to add to your repertoire or your arsenal. And you know what? I actually have watched flip-throughs and then in my library of keywords gone through and written down every single one from this deck because of the perspective it offers. Like Five of Swords, survival. That's a really poignant and unique keyword for this card. Six of Pentacles, redistribution. A much more progressive way to look at this card. And what do we got here? Mutual aid. Looks like disaster relief. And I would love thoughts from others, but I personally feel like this is a very hopeful deck. Even though there's some imagery that might seem grim, that's the world we live in. And this, to me, shows folks both surviving in spite of it, but also rising from the ashes of late stage capitalism, maybe. This one's a very beautiful card. This person looks like they know so much. And I'm glad I have this big version to dig into here, you know, because of the size of this imagery. But I would say that that's kind of why, again, like the size of the card is a little bit unwieldy. Maybe it's just the little like dots and like the grunge that's drawn in, which is such a like suitable. Look at the, like, you know, the litter around this person and on the bridge behind them. It's almost cluttered. Oh, it looks like this guy got some water damage. I wonder if I can shuffle out the wrinkles in there. Sorry if that was an assault on the microphone. Wow, see. Now let me see what year this came out. $2021. Well, the second printing at least is 2021. Published by Silver Sprocket. I like the titles under the quartz. It's a really special perspective on the throne of security for the King of Pentacles. This is going to be an impactful one, I can tell. Oh, and the Seven of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot. And look at this one. Courage. That person's face. Resolve. Calmness. I think I'll do some of Danny Mystic's bonding exercises with this deck. Wow, look at this one. This gives me gentrification vibes, hey? Kiddos sitting on moving boxes. This building's for sale. Arsenal for the Four of Pentacles. Like, that's quite the keyword. This gives me like steampunk vibes or solar punk. A gorgeous card. Look at rockets. That's awesome. Very punk again. So instead of the tower, we have a revolution with fracking or an oil rig on fire. Pipeline. water protectors in the front here. True times 10,000, huh? But yeah, I think I might have interrupted myself. Danny Mystic has a few different bond with a deck exercises, and I think I will want to do that with this one in particular because there's a lot here. And it will really help me decide should I get myself a copy, just for the sake of being able to work more viscerally with these concepts instead of like with any old deck and more theoretically, you know what I mean? Ooh, what's the top and the bottom? I feel scared to put this on wrong. So, those are the decks that I asked Sarah to share with me from her list and her collection. And this fab book. And these other two cute little surprise books I'm excited to take a look at. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry for the rant on this deck. I am still going to look into this, and it's just something to keep in mind when folks are hunting for tarot and oracle or see a deck that sparks their interest. You know, look at the author and their intentions behind it, and, you know, layers of cultural appropriation and colonization. And then you have bad things like this. All right, I think I'll stop there. Thanks so much, and yeah, I hope this inspires you to consider a tarot swap. If you live closer to somebody, you could potentially do a tarot trade with a whole-on meetup group versus like what I did here with Sarah, and we mailed each other a box across the country. So Sarah's got some decks and I've got some decks for a while, and we'll try them out, see if how they impact our tarot practices, and talk about that, and then enjoy the newness without the cost of that. Thanks so much, and take care.